Joining us now, hey, he's my state senator in Chesapeake, John Cosgrove, Republican. Great guy. He's an FOJ. That means friend of John. And we're happy to have him with us today live in studio in Portsmouth, where we're hoping the people of Portsmouth are going to reelect our good friend Bill Watson for sheriff, running as an independent because John's colleague, Louise Lucas, kicked him out of the Democratic Party. Senator, good to have you with us.
Good morning, John. How you doing?
Hey, you sound great today.
I'm feeling
I really
great.
do.
Look, they call you the commander of common sense, but, you're always going to be Godzilla here.
That's right. The Godzilla of the truth right here. I appreciate that. And I've got the girth to match. John, I do have that. John is always in shape. He's one of those guys you meet it. No matter when you see him, he's in tip-top shape. I don't know how he does it.
I appreciate it.
Let's talk about the governor's race. I know, Senator Cosgrove, you have been a big supporter of Ed Gillespie from really day one. How do you see this campaign shaping up now?
Well, John, I see that Ed he's everywhere. He's like the Energizer Bunny. He was here in Hampton Roads yesterday. He's going to be back on Monday. He has been here a lot, more than any governor's candidate I can remember. And I will tell you that Ed has the plans. And when they talk about plans, we're not talking about pie-in-the-sky ideas. He has a hard copy plan for veteran services, education, economic development, and it goes on and on. I served as a co-chair of his Veterans Policy Committee, and Ed is absolutely committed to our veterans and all the people of Virginia. He's got more energy than I can ever imagine having, and he's working very, very hard, and I think that Ed is going to be our next governor.
Well, he is working hard. There's no question about it. John Cosgrove, one of the big issues is going to be Republican turnout and the Republican base. And are they going to be excited enough about Ed Gillespie to turn out on November 7th? Tell us why or why not.
Well, John, I think they will be energized to turn out. This campaign has been particularly offensive. The ad that the Hispanic group pulled, I think, was a lightning rod. It offended so many people on so many levels that I think that in itself is going to drive a lot of people to the polls. They're going to appreciate Ed, but they also do not appreciate that type of sleazy ad that was put on the airwaves. The other thing is, you and I are both strong President Trump supporters. He has tweeted out his endorsement of Ed. Ed has been running around the entire Commonwealth. He's echoing the president's agenda. He also has the opportunity to actually go talk to the president, which Ralph Northam is not going to have because of his comments about our president.
John, let's get to the other people on the ticket, starting with one of your colleagues in the state Senate, Jill Vogel. I know that you backed State Senator Reeves in the primary, Jill Vogel winning. How do you feel about Jill Vogel in that race?
Jill is fabulous. She is a wonderful attorney. She is an amazing mother. She always has one of her kids up at the General Assembly during session. She is absolutely a fabulous choice to be our lieutenant governor. Yes, I supported Bryce Reeves, but I have been asking Jill to run for lieutenant governor for the last couple of years. And Bryce came out first, and he asked for my support, and I gave it to him. But I am all the way behind Jill. I think so highly of her. She's intelligent. She's compassionate. And she will be a wonderful addition presiding over the Senate of Virginia.
Now, John, I just have to ask you this. You have served in the state Senate in Richmond with the Democratic nominee for governor, Lieutenant Governor Ralph Northam, former state senator. You've served with him. You've worked with him. You know him. He's from a neighboring district. Now, there was a time where he was within about an hour of changing from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party, which would have given back then the Republicans control of the Senate, which they have now. He was about an hour away. That thing got screwed up.
Right.
You've always had a good relationship with him. But this campaign that he's running with these, ads of trucks running over Hispanic children, what's happened to him?
Well, John, we're all wondering that. This is not the Ralph Northam that we have known for many years. Ralph was a very conservative fellow. Again, like you said, he just about made the switch over to the Republican Party until one person in the House tweeted that out, and basically he was beaten to death by the governor in the Senate majority at that time and elected to stay there. But Ralph has never, espoused the totally left-leaning liberal Bernie-based agenda that he's spewing right now. We don't know who this Ralph is. He's not the Ralph that we've worked with. That being said, Ralph is a very nice guy. He is a friend of mine. But I really believe that Ed Gillespie is the right person with the right attitude and the right commitment to lead this Commonwealth.
You know, you have run for various offices locally and then in your district for House of Delegates and state senator, but you never really changed your core positions on things. And we don't always agree on everything like COPN and things like that, but you've never changed your position, really. When you look at Ralph Northam, I mean, if you look at sanctuary cities, the senator, he's taken 3 positions in 3 weeks. First, he was in favor of sanctuary cities. He actually voted in favor of having sanctuary cities in Virginia. Then he says, well, there aren't any sanctuary cities in Virginia, so it doesn't matter. It's all a myth. Then yesterday on Wavy TV in Southeast Virginia, in an interview, he says, well, now he's opposed to sanctuary cities, and if the Republicans sent him a bill on opposing it, he'd sign it. 3 positions on a key issue in 3 weeks. I mean, I've never seen this.
Well, John,
what do you make of that?
We have to wonder, which is the real Ralph? It's, I was there when he voted that deciding vote to basically allow sanctuary cities in the Commonwealth. We don't have, quote, sanctuary cities right now, but we have some localities that are pretty doggone close, like Arlington, Alexandria, and Charlottesville. And if they had the opportunity to go full bore like San Francisco does, they're going to do it. And so it's important that we as a General Assembly do not allow sanctuary cities in this Commonwealth. Now, Ralph has taken different positions on this, either for or against. But again, which Ralph are we talking about?
No one knows, and it's sad to see him changing his position so many times. It's almost as if they're doing public opinion and surveys and just handing him a script to read based on, their best chance to win, regardless of what the position is. Even you take his position on President Trump, Senator Cosgrove, for months he campaigned as the resistance to Trump. He called him a narcissistic maniac. Then he does polling and he finds out that, well, the voters of Virginia want to work with the president because so much defense money affects our state. So then he changes his position from Trump sucks to, well, Trump only sucks, kind of sucks. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Senator John Adams, I wrote him off a month ago. I said that Herring was going to win. Herring was way ahead. He's the incumbent Democrat Attorney General. I thought Herring was running a brilliant campaign, running to the center. All of a sudden, he became the moderate of this crazy Democratic left-wing ticket in Virginia. But he stalled, and Adams is closing like Seabiscuit. He's coming on like a bat out of Hades. I think he's going to catch Herring at the wire. He just got $2.2 million from the Republican Attorney General's Association in the final 6 days of the campaign, and they don't ever give money to challengers. He just got $2.2 million in the final day. They must know something. I think Adams is going to win. How about you?
I absolutely agree with you, John, and except I wouldn't say Seabiscuit. I would use a Virginian, which is Secretariat. But that being said, John is a brilliant guy. I've had several events for him at my house. I've talked to him. He is a Navy veteran. He's been a prosecutor. He's been a civil law attorney. I mean, he has all the right tickets punched. And I believe that he is coming on strong, and he will be our next lieutenant governor. The other thing that's important about John is he will defend our Virginian Constitution. Mark Herring has basically turned his back on our Constitution and actually worked against the will of Virginians during his tenure as Attorney General.
Well, and the thing is, John has come from far behind. He's really run a good campaign. He didn't have the name ID, and Mark Herring, also a former colleague of yours.
Right.
His campaign got off to a great start, and then I don't know if it's stalled or they're trying to sit on a lead, but it's almost like he's trying to run out the clock.
Well, John, I agree.
I don't think that's going to work.
Well, I don't think it's going to work either, because Mark actually has to not run out the clock, but run from his record. He has to run from his record as being the state's attorney who refused to support the state. He actually did Friends of the Court briefs against issues in our Virginia Constitution. Whether he likes them or not, his job as the Attorney General is to defend the Constitution of the Commonwealth of Virginia, and he's failed to do so, and he's done so just with great joy in his heart. And so we need somebody that's in there that's going to serve Virginians and not turn his back on us.
All right, John Cosgrove, make a prediction. The Democrats in Virginia, statewide, they've won 7 statewide races in a row. Can the Republicans on November 7th in Virginia turn the corner and actually win a race?
John, absolutely. I really believe that Ed is going to be our next governor. I know that Jill will be our next lieutenant governor. And John Adams, I believe, will come out at the top of the group. I'm sorry, not the top of the group, but the top of his opponent, and be our next attorney general. It's a great team. I've never been so excited about an entire ticket in my entire political life. These folks are fabulous. They are what Virginia needs, and I'm all the way behind them.
All right, we're out of time. I want to thank my state senator and one of my best friends in the world, John Cosgrove, for being with us today and coming into our luxurious flagship in Portsmouth, Virginia.
Thanks, John. You got to say hello to the Fraulein for me, too.
In Washington, D.C., I will say hello to the Fraulein for you. John Cosgrove, we're out of time, predicting Republican victory on November 7th. If the Democrats sweep, that'll give them 10 in a row, and then Virginia, my friends, becomes New Jersey.